Okay, good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing great. Hope you are doing well. I'm really wishing every one of us a good week today. From today down to Friday, I'm wishing us a good week. Um, Quickly looking at the dollar from yesterday, dollar has been ranging sideways. Any opportunity to buy or sell would be taken from the lower time frame. Right? Say, but if you are long term, looking at the 15 minutes time frame to look for opportunities, or we are waiting for price to stretch into a higher time frame premium for us to look for trading opportunities. We have not gotten that yet. So if you are a higher time frame trader, you're waiting for 15 minutes, waiting for 1 hour, you don't have much on the dollar for now. You're just going to have to wait. However, in intraday, we did see movement yesterday, but as you can see, it moved off, dropped out to take out its own lows from yesterday. Let me just remove this. And then that's how far, or that's the best dollar has done down, and now it's returning back into the range. So, how do you navigate this? If you're day trading, you want to, because in a range, the market could go either ways, right? If you're day trading, you want to pay attention to the lower portion of the range and the upper portion of the range. Or you just wait for dollar to completely break out so you can be free to trade better in a one-sided direction or in direction that follows the trend. So the lower portion of the range is discount, the upper portion of the range is premium. Anything below here gives you the opportunity to buy. But so far, it's just ranging on a lower time frame. If I was to go to the 1 hour, this movement are insignificant. And this is because on the 1 hour time frame, takes a lot for the market to move. Now, why this range? Two things. The market has experienced a large drop last week on Friday, right? So the market is pricing its next move. And the second thing is we have FOMC tomorrow. So, and whatever happens at FOMC, which is Fed funds rate, we want to see the rate of the dollar. And this is very key because in this particular time, they want to see if Powell will be subjected to the pressure from the president to cut interest rate, or if he will keep doing his thing or unaffected and keep interest rates unchanged because that's what is good or what is seen better for the economy, maybe to control falling prices and inflation at the same time. Now, if this is if this is kept unchanged, this will have a dramatic effect on the dollar, sending the dollar higher. If it's not, then dollar is going to plunge. If they cut interest rate, dollar is going to plunge to these lows. This low is drawn from the daily time frame. Let me take it back. I still believe the market will draw down to this low here because it's taking out this one, and then there's this one underneath. But fundamentals can influence our direction. However, we are still bearish on the dollar for longer term direction. But if you are trading intraday, it's very different because if you can see on the 15 minutes yesterday, dollar still had the opportunity to sell. I created it very clearly on the 5 minutes for a selling opportunity, but it was at deep discount, right? Except you're cutting your risk, and I mentioned that it is not a um it is not a trade you want to chase. So we had this using block, market breaks out on the euro, actually much more clearer. Market breaks out, then creates a rejection candle for this move that happened. And this move happened with the trend. But this market is at deep discount. Notice immediately after happening, it starts to reverse its way up. And now, from where we stand, dollar might want to price in to higher levels But because of FOMC, it could do that slowly. We had these highs, remove this, relatively core highs here. If the market intends to move higher, this level, and then this imbalance is still not completely closed up. So I want to see the dollar extend its side to the upside. As for intraday trading, you want to make sure before you place a buy trade on the dollar, you are seeing a very clear uh building block to the upside, because like I said, dollar is waiting for FOMC, and whatever FOMC decides, that's where they will move the markets long term for the next few months before next rate decision. So yeah, with this being said, Monday has been quiet, except if you are trading within the range. We are still in the range from this high to this low. The market is still sideways. This is around the midpoint of that range. Okay, so uh, I personally would like to see the dollar trying to fill up this imbalance, or this gap it created, this huge gap. I would like to see the dollar fill it, and then create a setup for me to go higher. That's what I'm looking for, especially after seeing them drop to completely take out this building block here. I think this one happened in Asia. So this was a building block setup. And then since it took it out completely and didn't continue going down, it just reversed quickly. It gives me an indication that they might want to push prices high. Looking at the euro, we just flip the charts opposite way. The market still has the potential to go higher relative to the dollar, but on the 15 minutes time frame, remember we don't start analysis here. We start on the daily. The thing is, we've already done, okay, that was yesterday's trade. We've already done our analysis here on the daily using the platform of the dollar. Because if the dollar does not move, every other thing can just decide to change direction. Because dollar is more weighted, so you can trust intermarket correlation when you're trading with dollar. So there's still this high, just like where we drew on the dollar, a particular low, where the market will stretch to. It's so close to it. I believe the market will want to take out external before dropping down. So that's what I'm looking at. Then on the 1 hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, I want to see the market drop into this count before I engage it. There is the only level to measure on the 1 hour here was this low, this low to this high. I don't even think this was midpoint, and it rejected. I started moving higher. So were it to continue to the upside, it could drop into discount relative to the last swing, this low to this high, and that can create an opportunity for intraday movement if you want to short. But personally, I will always advise to allow the short blow over so you can take advantage of the overall trend, the trend to the upside. All right. So will euro sell? The possibility exists that the market would seek lower prices. We have okay, not relatively called low, but then we have a low here. All these ones here, this imbalance here for price to drop into, but the trend is bullish. Okay, so it could easily just stretch itself to take out the high because it can. Yeah, so that's what we are looking at. The GBP USD, same thing. Once the dollar has decided its direction, they all will follow. So if you are not already in the trade, it's very difficult to hold on to the trade. This is when whoever swings trade is holding on to the trade, especially if they took the 4 hour movement. However, now you want to wait and not force it. It's very high. Let me show you something. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, buying here is not wrong, or buying here, it's actually too high. it's very much at premium. So if you're not already in this trade to this upside, you can join the buy, but chances are very high that it could just go up a little and then drop down to take out the people chasing the movement. The same thing for the euro. It's not impossible to buy here. This is Euro USD. It's not impossible to buy here. But personally speaking, I like a situation where the building block is very obvious and it has dropped into discount relative to the last range, at least before I decide to buy, because you don't want it to be too far. Okay, so with this being said, looking at the Euro USD, looking at the gold. Now, I also wanted to give in an exercise. Please feel free to take trades that you can either execute the trade or find the setup while they are forming. If maybe you are still struggling or with hesitation and all that, we'll do a psychology class very soon. I'm working on that. But I want you to build confidence in your own system. This is a system or a strategy I built, I've worked on, I've tested it, and I have confidence in it because I've tested it. You have to make it your system now. And to do that is to test it. So test it in real time. You don't have to be right. You have to just get screenshots of when it failed, screenshots of when it did not. Your goal is to go to try to prove that the thing is not working. Let's even do the exercise like that. Okay, go in looking for times where one building block was with directional bias, which is aka the trend, or where the market has liquidity that is drawing to. Secondly, building block created a pattern. Thirdly, it created the rejection candle and then it failed. And then whether it failed or it did not, get the screenshot. So go in and try to prove that it's not working. I think that's a better exercise rather than it takes off the pressure of I want to be right. I don't want you to be right. In fact, I want you to find the situations where throughout this week, this is all the building block setup you spotted, and this is the ones that failed. This is the ones that worked. You don't have to place a trade on the demo if you don't want to, right? Um, so you build confidence in your system, because one of the laws to mitigate emotional trading is having confidence in your statistical edge, right? This building block setup, chances are they form almost every day. Some of them are not in line with the trend, which we leave them, but others are in line with the trend. So they form almost every day, and we get to take advantage of it because we've learned it. Okay, so prove it wrong, and then the times where it works, add it to, and then we'll go through it by the end of the week. So with this being said, thank you so much. This is my expectation. Um, a lot of people, including me, as a lot of institutions, including me, we're waiting to see what the dollar would do. So the dollar is the benchmark. Personally, I believe that they're going to drive it higher in anticipation of strong rates. But I'm not going to be engaging until I see a building block, and I'm going to uh risk my percentage, maybe half of it, and I'm going to take because I don't know if it will work or if it will not. I just know that I've seen my system even here overnight play out. I've seen it play out yesterday in the direction of the trend, and I just know that if I keep going, sooner or later I'm going to catch the best rates and then make money off of those ones, and they'll cover for my business expenses. So with this being said, cheers, and I will see you in the groove.